5, 4, 3.
I count down.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whenever it is you're tuning in. Welcome back to Ticket Price, the only show on the internet that asks the question that matters. Are these movies worth the ticket price? In other words, are they worth your time and money? With you as always, my name is Jake, co-host and voice of the show. With me as always, co-host extraordinaire and the only man who thinks Skyrim is better than Oblivion. Tevis at Master Control. Tevis, how are you, sir?
Well, since I've never played Oblivion all the way through, well, not even all the way through, I think I walked around for a while and got killed by a wolf and got pissed off and quit.
That sounds like you.
Yeah.
That does sound like a Tevis thing.
So, yeah.
No.
My brother tried to get me into Oblivion so bad. And I'm like, no, this is stupid. And then he's like,
this is nerd stuff.
Yeah. And then he's like, here, try this one. This is Skyrim. Look at this. I'm like, this is the same shit as Oblivion. And then I played it and I'm like, this is amazing.
You're the audience that they had to baby down Skyrim's gameplay for.
Probably.
With each subsequent release, it just gets a little more watered down.
Yeah, and I think I got every single release. I've only bought it.
Skyrim.
Yeah. Maybe 7 times.
You're the problem. Todd Howard knows he'll just keep making money off of you. He's like, Tevis will give me money.
Yeah. They'll release a copy and it just says updated leaves. Yeah. I'm like, yes, I'm buying that. It looks beautiful.
No, Oblivion, the story is better. The side quests are better. The guilds are better. I'll tell you right now, we need to get you playing Oblivion and just get you into the Dark Brotherhood.
That sounds evil. I don't like that.
Yeah, but you love horror movies.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we need to get you into the Dark Brotherhood.
With it being remastered on new release, I might.
You won't play it that far.
Try.
You won't get that far in without help. You'll get killed by a wolf or something and get pissed and quit. There's a mission, and my Oblivion fans know what I'm talking about. There's a mission in the Dark Brotherhood where you are invited to a party in this big stately manner. And the goal is to kill...
Is it a key party?
No.
Oh.
The goal is to kill everyone at the party. But you get your bonus if you do it without anyone in the house knowing you're the killer. So you could go in with your sword and just hack everyone to pieces and complete the mission. But the actual way to do it is figuring out okay, how to isolate the different guests, who do you murder, who do you poison. You can talk to people and get them pitted against each other.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really sweet.
Like Hitman style.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
I hate Hitman.
It's more of a puzzle game, but and I get where you would probably struggle with puzzle games.
Yeah, that hurts my brain.
Shocking. No, Oblivion's better than Skyrim.
Okay, I'll check it out when it's remastered and released.
Now, today, episode 90. Also, we'll have to come up with top 10s after this episode, which I didn't even think about until right now.
Okay. More work for me to do.
We all know you do your top 10s the day of.
I do them as we're talking about.
Yeah, you have. So stay tuned for more top 10s. We're not talking about video games today. We are talking about wrestling.
Hell yeah,
and we actually are talking about wrestling.
Yes,
because we are reviewing the 2023 biographical Pick the Iron Claw, the Von Erich story. Which means we can actually talk about wrestling because this is a wrestling movie.
Hell yes.
About a wrestling family.
Hell yes.
The wrestling family or just one of the wrestling families? I think of the Hearts personally when I think of wrestling families.
That's my go-to.
But then again, I think we were more of a Northeast influenced audience, and WWF and WWF and now WWE always had that long-standing relationship with the Canada promotions. Whereas, like, if we were Southern
Yeah.
and we were more influenced in, like, Southern territory wrestling, it would be Von Erichs, but...
Yeah, and I don't even remember Kerry when he was in WWF.
It's because he wasn't Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah, that's right. He was Texas Tornado.
He was the Texas Tornado. Stupid. God, Vince McMahon. Has Vince McMahon always been terrible? I think he has.
Yeah, yeah. I think so.
Like, just not very good at his job.
Yeah. I was watching a YouTube video of oh my god, who was the wrestler? Shit, I can't remember. Anyway, it was his podcast that he was doing. But he was talking about the time Vince McMahon was walking around backstage, and they made it a bit where he would say,
the N-word.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, why? I don't remember that.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Just like, who thought that was a good idea?
Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
One person thought that was a good idea. Unfortunately, that one person did whatever he wanted.
Yeah. No, I didn't like it.
Luckily, we're not talking about Vince, but he wasn't even the Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich.
No, he was just Texas Tornado.
Or Kerry the Texas Tornado Von Erich. So he wasn't Kerry Von, he was just the Texas Tornado. Well, that's not a name. No one's going to get behind that.
You mean nobody rooted for the Red Rooster?
That ruined Terry Taylor's career. He actually had a decent career going. And then he became the Red Rooster.
Which I thought, who thought that was a good idea?
Okay.
Vince McMahon.
Bret the Hitman Hart. Or, here comes the Hitman.
That works. Well, that works a lot better than Red Rooster or Texas Tornado.
Yeah, but it's still not.
Yeah, and also, wasn't it Vince McMahon's idea to make Dusty Rhodes
the polka dots?
The polka dots?
Yeah.
Okay.
But honestly, I think that was retaliation for running opposition to him for so long.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to bring him in, why try to humiliate him?
Because Vince McMahon is a petty person.
Yeah, okay.
He will buy this show just to cancel it now that I've said that. But I'm such a sellout, I'm okay with that. So bring it on, TKO and McMahon family.
Hell yeah.
We'll take your money. I won't get in Vince's plane, though.
Oh, God, no. Who knows what's all over the floor?
According to the Wall Street Journal, feces.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about Vince or even the WWF/E.
No.
We're talking about WCCW, World Class Championship Wrestling out of Dallas, Texas.
WCCW. That sounds like a radio station.
A little bit.
Yeah. Something like Howard Stern started with.
Yeah, maybe. I could see that. But no, we're talking about WCCW in Dallas. We're talking about the Von Erichs. So, Iron Claw, released 2023, written by Sean Durkin, or as you like to say it, Sean
Durkin.
Sean Durkin.
Yeah.
Still not as good as Seed Bean.
I prefer Sean Bond.
I forgot about Sean Bond. Good Lord.
I love him. He is so awesome in every movie he's ever done.
Oh, absolutely. He'll just never be on the show because we're idiots.
True.
Also directed by Sean Durkin.
Red Flag.
Writer-director.
Yeah.
More often than not, it's a red flag for a reason. I don't backpedal on that. Tevis currently enjoys a chocolate chip muffin. Baked from scratch by my wife/podcast mom, Anna.
Oh,
Thank you, hun.
Thank you. And try not to chew into the mic.
Why?
Damn, these are good. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Where's my phone? Where's my phone?
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulties.
Alexa, call 911.
Martha, I'm dying. Everything's ground to a halt for a lackluster bit. I have no regrets.
I'm seeing stars.
It's totally fine. You'll edit this out, right?
Yeah, sure.
I would hate to look like an idiot.
Trust me.
As we were saying, writer-director is a red flag for a reason. That being said, though, we've been proven wrong on occasion.
Sometimes, yeah.
There have been exceptions to the rule, but I do feel like they are that. Exceptions to the rule. Maybe this will be one, maybe this won't be one, but we'll find out. Starring Zac Efron, Harris Dickinson, Jeremy Allen White, and Stanley Simmons.
This is our second Harris Dickinson movie.
It is?
Yeah.
Which one was Harris Dickinson?
He was David.
Okay, yeah.
We also covered Where the Crawdads Sing. And he was the abusive.
He was the jerk.
Yeah.
That's why I don't remember. He died like 4 minutes in.
Yeah. And he gave a lackluster performance.
Yeah. Again, it was a lackluster part in a not worth the ticket price movie. Or was it worth the ticket price?
It was worth it, yeah.
Was it? Yeah. I can't remember what we said now.
Yeah, I know I said it was worth it. I think you did too. To the tape!
To the tape. Insert clip here. Yeah, I totally agree with what I said there. Absolutely. I'm so wise. Budget. The Iron Claw made with an estimated $15 million.
Okay. They could have spent a little bit more money on wigs.
Oh my. I'm glad it's not just me.
Oh God, no. They are awful.
They're
all
horrible.
Of them. All of them are terrible.
Although I'm not sure if Zac Efron is in a wig or if he just, or if the real villain of this film is his hairstylist.
That's got to be a wig.
I hope it's a wig.
They got it off the set of Spaceballs from Prince Valium. Looks god awful. Looks like he's about to go fight Skeletor.
It's not good.
I mean, the way he's built too, he fucking looks like He-Man.
Okay, well, we're not there yet, but can we just appreciate the fact that Zac Efron got in professional wrestling size and shape, even though, because I've seen the pictures, he's roughly the body mass of 2 or 3 of the Von Erichs put together.
Oh yeah,
they were not big dudes.
Carrie was.
Carrie was built and they were all tall, but like Zac Efron is playing Kevin.
Yeah.
Zac Efron is easily 3 times the size Kevin was at his peak.
Yeah, he looks monstrous.
Yeah. You're right, Carrie had good size. Yeah. David was never
No, he was just super tall and
they were
lanky.
All just tall and I mean they were very athletic and in good shape.
Yeah.
But they weren't.
Yeah, they weren't like Carrie.
Scratch Lunk's back. Lunk can't reach.
That is one of the main criticisms I've heard of this movie.
Is how big Efron was?
It's that, and it's like, well, Carrie portrayed by, oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
Jeremy Allen White?
Yes. He's not as tall as Carrie was, or as big as Carrie was, and, you know.
Get over it.
Yeah.
That's not important.
Yeah, please.
Because honestly, facially and with his hair, he probably resembled the most of who he was portraying.
Yeah, and Harris Dickinson looked like David as well. But yeah, if you're going to make that the main criticism, but I heard it I listened to Jim Cornette. He dogged on that.
Yeah.
And I get it. He knew the guys. So you kind of want them to look like the people you knew. But
yeah, but at the same time, it's a movie,
Yeah.
and you go with who fits the part, and they're not going to be one-for-one clones.
Exactly. And then the other person was, Kevin Nash. He was dogging on that.
I don't care what Kevin Nash
I
thinks.
don't either.
Learn more than 6 moves, and we'll talk.
That's the 6?
Well, if you count his hair flip.
There you go.
No, I mean, I understand it, but I don't. I'm not the audience member that's going to get hung up on that.
No, me either.
I'm going to joke about how big Zac Efron is compared to the Von Erich.
Yeah, that's not going to be
huge.
That's not going to be my main deciding factor on whether the movie's good or not.
No. So, worldwide gross. I was surprised by this figure.
Okay.
Worldwide gross of $45.2 million.
That's it?
From all the hype, from all the praise, from all the just talk around, the buzz around this movie, I kind of thought it did way better than that.
That surprises me. That's low.
That's what I thought. But then again, I guess a wrestling biopic is probably not going to attract mainstream audiences, let alone a wrestling biopic over names that have not been in the forefront of anyone's mind in 20 years, 30 years.
I could see that.
40 years?
Well, early late 80s.
Well, I'm thinking Texas Tornado Kerry. Like, when did he win the Intercontinental Championship? I want to say that was like 89, 90.
Yeah, it was at SummerSlam. I know that.
Because wasn't Ultimate Warrior world champ at that point?
I'm not sure.
Because I think even in the movie, Fritz, they got a little line in there digging at Ultimate Warrior, which I'm okay with because he was terrible.
Well, he died in 93.
Right. But, I mean, given the circumstance of his death, it's not important. The WWF at the time, from 90 to 92. So, yeah, that would have been the last time the Von Erich name was mainstream, and even that has an asterisk on it because he wasn't Von Erich, he was Texas Tornado, and that's dumb, but here we are.
Yeah, it looks like 90. He substituted for the injured Brutus Beefcake and defeated Mr. Perfect to win the Intercontinental Championship.
So you mean Brutus got injured and then a good match happened?
Yes.
Because nobody wants to see Beefcake do anything.
No.
Except maybe have another parasailing accident.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, sorry.
We're not talking about Brutus Beefcake.
Thank God. When do you think his movie's coming out?
Direct to Netflix.
Netflix Steve! But no, so Worldwide Gross, I was surprised for sure. Awards, 3 award wins with an additional 39 nominations. All good stuff, but nothing huge or major. That leads me to the big question, Tevis. What is your history with the Iron Claw?
When I heard that this was coming out, I was kind of excited because I kind of knew about the Von Erichs, not a whole lot. Growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, I was big into wrestling, but I was not familiar with them at the time. But, I always would go through wrestling magazines and read different things, and they were always either on the cover or, had a big article in their magazine. So I was excited for this, but I knew that this was one of those movies that was going to just try to make me cry. And
yeah, you're not wrong.
I was prepared for that. But I missed it in the theater. It wasn't here very long. I don't think it was in the theater very long at all.
I don't remember it being in the local theater.
But when it came out on Blu-ray, I was like, screw it, I'm just going to buy it. bought it, I watched it, and that's it. I mean, when we pulled it out of the hat. When I watched it the first time, I was like, okay, that's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really blew me away. And yeah, I just watched it the one time and never had any reason to go back to it. And then, yeah, like I said, we pulled it from the hat. So here we are. What's your history with the Iron Claw?
I've seen it once prior to watching it for the show. And I believe it was at the request of my wife, who was like, oh, yeah, we should watch that. I said, okay.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. Wrestling movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was telling her about like the Von Erichs and stuff. And, we got into it and I watched it. I was like, I enjoyed it. How do I put this? I do think you're right. It's one of those movies. It's like, oh no, this is one of those biopics that their goal is to make you cry.
Oh, yeah.
But also, given the subject matter, it's not like they could go any other direction with it.
That is true. Yeah, you're not going to have a comedy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Although I get a little nervous with biopics when the subject or some of the subject is still alive.
Yeah.
Because then it gets what I call the Bohemian Rhapsody syndrome.
Yes. Yes, it does.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Queen biopic, Bohemian Rhapsody, which I enjoyed. It was fine.
Yeah.
But they also go really out of their way to paint the deceased Freddie Mercury as the one who was partying hard and out of control and really leaning into that rock star life. And then all the other band members who are definitely still alive are all like squeaky clean little altar boys.
Yeah.
Bullshit. And honestly, I'm kind of pissed at them for that portrayal. Now the Elton John one is really good because Elton John, it's a good movie, but Elton John is also very open and honest about his demons. And so that comes through in the film and it gives it a lot of credit, But no, the Bohemian Rhapsody where it's like, oh no, it was all Fred. It was all Freddie. That guy was out of control. We were on time. We didn't make any waves. We weren't.
I never missed a note when we were playing live.
Yeah, because drugs. What is Cochan? What is Do
I don't even like Coca-Cola. I don't know what.
I'm not a soda drinker.
Yeah.
Blow it out your ass. So
I take biopics as movies. I don't look at a biopic of any subject. I don't care if it's about a family, about a person, about an event. It's a film. It's made to be dramatic. It's changed in a lot of ways. So going into all of them, I'm just like, this is probably has about this much truth and the rest is just dramatic bullshit. And I'm okay with that.
You know what? I can't disagree with your outlook on it.
I figure if I want to learn about it and actually know 100% what happened in this event or with this family, then I'll dig in and do research on articles and watch documentaries. But if I'm watching a biopic film, I'm in it for the enjoyment of the film.
I think that's the right outlook. I think that's the right mentality to go into them.
And saying that, I normally don't have an issue when they change things. I have one issue with this movie that they changed.
Just one?
One that bothered me a lot.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay. So then, I guess, the question is, Tevis, are you ready to get into it?
Let's ring that bell.
The review. Review time. Movie opens, black and white, as we see a wrestling match happening, and in the ring, It's just the intensity of Fritz von Erich, the father of the von Erich family, Fritz von Erich's face as he stomps his opponent into the mat. And honestly, on this second watch, I appreciate this opening even more.
Okay.
Because maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it's just Fritz. It's his intensity as he's working hard, but he's just stomping. He's ruthlessly stomping on his opponent. And I couldn't help but feel like that's also how he handled. Let me put it this way. That was also his parenting philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
Was stomping and grinding. And so to me, this opening was very appropriate.
Foreshadowing.
A bit, yes. Yeah. But we also get a decent little glimpse of a Fritz match as he locks the claw on. And the act Hoyt, is it Hoyt?
Holt McCallany?
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I really enjoy this guy. I've only seen him in one other thing. And it was Mindhunter.
Mindhunter.
Yeah. And that I only watched like maybe 4 or 5 episodes of that. But he was really good in that.
Yeah. Anna and I are still waiting for, season 3 or something? Come on, guys.
I need to finish watching it.
It's really good.
I did enjoy it. I just, for some reason, stopped watching it and I just never got back to it.
Yeah. So, but that was our introduction to him, too, was Mindhunter.
Yeah.
And he's great in that. And he's great in this.
I agree.
And then we also he talks about, so after the match, he meets up with his wife.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I'll let you take it from here.
Moira Tierney.
My face itches.
Dang. She's so awesome.
She's fine.
Watch your mouth.
She's playing the exact same character from Liar Liar.
No, she's way worse than this.
I mean, yeah, but like her acting style is just meh.
Once we get into it later, man, she does a fantastic job.
Yeah, she's a movie star. She can't act. She has one type of act, and it's dry, and it's borderline Brie Larson.
Oh, you watch your damn mouth, sir.
But Fritz meets up with his wife, and I guess it would have been Kevin and David, the boys.
Yes.
But we get a peek into Fritz's mindset as he talks about what it takes in life, in the wrestling business, and anything. You've got to be the strongest. You've got to be the toughest. You've got to be the best. You've got to be the hardest worker.
Yeah, and he preaches that throughout this entire movie. Almost to the very end credits.
And he's touching on some really important virtues and values. He's just maybe arguing that you could take it too far.
A little bit of
like with anything, even good things taken to an extreme become bad.
He's a little bit toxic.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
So, movie, flashes forward. Go ahead.
Were you
aroused by Moira Tierney? No,
aroused by Holt.
A little.
Okay, me too. Were you not upset that they didn't touch on it, but were you surprised that they didn't touch on the fact that his character in the ring was supposed to be a Nazi sympathizer?
No. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a Fritz movie. It's honestly not even a movie about their wrestling personas. It's a movie about the family and the family tragedies. So no, I don't think that's needed.
I just wish they would have.
He would have thrown
talked about
a Heil.
No, No, we don't need any more of that.
You know, when you're right, you're right.
I just wish they would have touched on the reason why they changed their names from Atkinson to Von Erich.
It's because when Kevin's on his date with Pam. Okay, yeah, there it is. He mentions how for wrestling, his dad Fritz changed his last name and the family last name to Fritz's grandmother's last name.
Correct.
Of Von Erich. But yeah, the reason was he wanted to portray a bad guy in wrestling, and his character, Fritz, was a Nazi.
Yes.
But no, I don't.
Okay.
Again, that's one of those things I think, if you're really interested, if this movie makes you interested in the Von Erichs and their story, then cool. Now you can do your homework and read the books and look into
That's
it
true.
and learn more into how far Fritz was willing to go.
I think if they would have touched on it, then that kind of would have painted Fritz in a worse light than he was already portrayed.
Yeah. And honestly, he was portraying a character.
Yes.
You don't no one gets mad at an actor who played a Nazi in a movie, right? Like, no one's pissed that Liam Neeson was Schindler.
Yeah, but okay, at the time, people didn't separate the wrestling character from the wrestler.
Oh, right, but I'm not talking about I'm talking about movie-going audiences watching The Iron Claw.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we don't need the working reasons to dislike him when we're focusing on the real life reasons to dislike him.
Okay, I agree.
But then Kevin begins to narrate as we see time pass and we see Kevin training. And he mentions the family curse. People always said my family was cursed, and I never believed it.
Yeah, isn't this a voiceover?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
As we see Zac Efron getting it.
Yes, he is.
My God, I got tired watching him work out.
I did too.
I had to take a nap halfway through the movie. I was so exhausted. It was all I could do.
I took a nap halfway through the movie, but for different reasons.
Oh. But then we get to see Kevin in a match. And again, it's cool. It's very well shot and very well choreographed. 2 questions, though. Did you recognize who Kevin / Zac Efron was in the ring with and who that person was portraying?
It wasn't the Sheik, was it?
It's the original Sheik, not the Iron Sheik,
No,
the original Sheik.
Yeah, that was Chavo Guerrero.
Jr., yes.
Yeah, he was the one who
he choreographed
the entire wrestling stuff.
And if you go into the making of this movie, it's actually really cool because he taught the actors how to wrestle and then made them put on a wrestling match, calling spots in the ring like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
They had to do a believable, passable wrestling match in order to get greenlit from him that they're ready.
And honestly, it shows a lot through this that they are not great at it, but they're good.
And I think more important than their skill at it, they're portraying the Von Erichs, which you talk to any wrestler from that time. And I think even more so now, they loved the business, and more importantly, they respected the business. What it is, what it isn't, what you talked about in public, what you could talk about with the boys in private.
Yeah.
They respected the business and its secrets. And Chavo worked that into these actors. So then when they are talking about it, there is real reverence.
Yeah.
In their performance. Even if they're not huge wrestling fans after filming the movie, they at least get it. You can't fake that.
No. No. And how cool did Zac Efron look jumping off the top rope?
Oh, his flying crossbody looked great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And he could also get up there in under a minute and a half. I'm just saying, if an actor who doesn't wrestle can do it, maybe people who wrestle every week should be able to do it.
Yeah, or don't do it.
But yeah, so yeah, that was Chavo Guerrero Jr. as the Sheik.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that little touch.
So yeah, surprise Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Did you spot MJF?
I did, as Lenny,
the tag team partner.
Yeah, but he was like Lenny Von Erich.
Yes.
When they were running out of Von Erich, so they just found a kid who looked kind of like the Von Erichs, and they were like, "Your cousin Lenny," or whatever.
Yay, cousin!
Apparently, MJF also had an executive producer credit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I saw it, and it's like executive producer Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I was like,
cool.
Really?
Okay.
And he had comments because most of his stuff got cut.
Yeah.
And he had no issue because he's like, it wasn't
about that character.
Exactly. He's like, what was left was about the Von Erich story and the family and the Lenny or Lanny. No, not Lanny. Lance, maybe.
Leonard.
No, it's not Leonard. The fake one.
Yeah.
The fake one. It's not his story. He was a periphery character.
Yeah, it was Lance Von Erich.
Lance, yeah. So now, cut to the Von Erichs at home, and they're all there except Carrie, because Carrie is still in college training for the Olympics. He had made the U.S. Olympic discus team.
Yes.
Which is cool.
Yes, it is.
As long as it's not Olympic walking, being an Olympic anything is cool.
You don't like Olympic walking?
No.
Okay. I didn't even know that was a thing.
They really get like their hips in there, and they're just like,
oh yes. I was thinking, okay.
And I'm going, really? We're giving this person the same medal as the decathlon winner? These are the same thing, guys?
They train at the mall.
Yeah, let's get rid of it. You know what? The Olympics are too long anyway. Let's trim some fat.
Yes.
And that's coming from us. And our show is almost all fat.
Yeah, let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of that stupid slap fight shit.
That's in the Olympics?
No, it's just, it exists. It's dumb.
Yeah, but Dana White wanted to create a sport that legitimized how he treats his wife.
Well said.
He's not committing acts of domestic violence. He's training.
Yeah, he's training.
His wife just doesn't know it's happening until it happens.
Come here, honey. I got to warm up my pimp hand. God.
The people who participate in tangent, small one. People who participate in that and also watch that are human waste, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen the clips and I just go, why? And I like professional wrestling. I like MMA. And I'm now going, let's
put the brakes on.
Let's pump the brakes,
bit.
guys. What are we doing?
Yeah.
I enjoy a good monster truck from time to time.
Yeah.
But this,
it feels icky.
It's just if you needed evidence that we as a culture are devolving, Exhibit A.
There it is.
But the rest of the family is around the table having dinner or whatever. And Fritz is talking. And I have in my notes, oh, look, new nominees for the Worst Parents Award.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Fritz very clearly makes a comment about, well, everyone knows Carrie's my favorite, then Kevin, then David, then Mike. But the rankings can always change. He is making his sons compete for his love and attention.
Yes.
What a dick.
Yes. And then he gets on to Mike because he's not bulked up enough.
You got good size, or you have good height, good size, but you need more mass.
Yeah. And he goes,
Mike doesn't want to wrestle.
Yeah. You need to figure out what you want to do, except you have to wrestle. Mike. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to be a musician.
You need to figure out what you want to do, except for the thing you've decided you want to do.
Yeah, I don't approve.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. He wants to be a musician. He's good at it.
Yeah, because he knows like 6 instruments or something.
Yeah.
He and his friends got a gig.
They got a band going. They got a gig, and he's getting paid for it. But then even the mom won't let him go because it's at a college. There might be drinking there.
Or whatever the issue was.
Yeah. So both of them are very terrible.
Well, and the mom, Moira Tierney's, I can't remember her name.
Doris.
She doesn't feel like a mother.
No, she's just kind of there.
She's Fritz's wife.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, but she really doesn't have much of a say.
But that's what I'm saying. She doesn't feel like Kevin's mom or Mike's mom. She feels like Fritz's wife.
Yeah, because there's a part where Kevin goes into her bedroom to talk to her. He says, hey, Dad's getting on Mike a little bit too hard.
Yeah, it's
like,
not.
Can we do something? Can you talk to him? And she just dismisses it. And she's like, nah, you work it out with your brothers. That's what your brothers are for. I'm like, are you just spitting out kids so that they can parent and you don't have to?
Basically.
That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah. Are we just going to go ahead and let them win the 3rd worst parents award?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because you know what?
Yeah, it's especially after. Well, when we get there, we'll talk about it. But what Fritz says towards the end, I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. So, we see the brothers doing their thing. We get a bit of home life, but we learn Kevin has weak promos. He is not very good on the mic talking to the people or his opponents or anything like that, which is true. Kevin was never
right.
Yeah,
because he has to do that promo like 3 different times or 4 different times.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah, he gets all flustered and.
But ultimately, they're setting. Oh God, that muffin's coming back to haunt me. I thought we were past it. Oh God. Shut up. Shut your big fat face. Shut your big fat face. What was I saying?
Muffin.
They were they taste a little like Drano.
That's what cyanide tablets taste like.
It's like a spy movie in my mouth.
It's like James Bond semen. What? I mean, I don't know.
I think we just uncovered just a little bit about Tevis's deep psyche there. You're in a safe place, man. I'm not going to judge you.
Daniel Craig is hot.
Oh, he's a very attractive man. Yeah.
Especially in the Casino Royale when he comes up out of the ocean with those shorts.
I haven't seen it, but...
Oh, you haven't seen Casino Royale?
I've not seen, in any form of entirety, any James Bond movies.
Oh, okay. I'm going to put them in the hat.
Okay.
We'll definitely put Casino Royale. Anyway.
Well, no, don't we have to go in order?
No, it doesn't matter with the James Bond movies, except...
That's true, it doesn't.
No.
Wait, does that mean we could have Mad Max, or I'm sorry, we could have Road Warrior and Fury Road in the hat simultaneously?
Absolutely.
Where's my pen?
Hat's over there. Make a shot. Boop.
So
Kevin, terrible on the mic.
Well, we learned that David makes his in-ring debut as Kevin's secret tag partner. And now we get David in the ring. And David can talk.
Yes, he can.
He's the promo cutter. But now we have the Von Erich tag team. And so the ball is rolling as far as the boys in wrestling. And then it's also when Kevin meets Pam. She is a very self-assured young woman who knows what she wants and she goes after it. And I can respect that.
Yeah.
Because she's not bitch.
No,
She's assertive.
she is.
Okay, this goes for everyone, but I'm going to break it down into male and female. There is assertiveness, and assertiveness can be a positive trait. Most people get assertiveness wrong. And in men, they think they're being assertive when in reality, they're being dicks. And women, a lot of times, think they are being assertive, but they're being bitches. They're missing the mark by going too hard.
Yeah.
It's, no, I don't want to do that. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to get, and that's what I'm going for. You don't have to be a jerk to do that.
Absolutely.
And I hear a lot of people, well, it's a double standard because, well, no, you're just doing it wrong. Because trust me, a lot of guys do it wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
I find it best to just be a doormat. Just let them walk all over me. And then let all that anger and frustration bubble inside until my chest hurts.
Then take it out on movies.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Pam is played by Lily James. This is our second movie with Lily James.
I recognized her name, but honestly, not her face.
She was Baby Driver, the girlfriend in Baby Driver.
Man, I didn't catch that
Yeah.
I didn't really recognize her there at all.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
She's a way better character in this movie than she was in Baby Driver. Speaking of doormat.
That's true. That is true.
I love how Kevin is
Awkward.
Yes, he is very awkward. I love that about him.
It's just real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, aren't you going to ask me, what I'm doing later? Or,
Because the way he is in the ring, he's like confident, physically confident. But when he gets on the mic,
he's weak
in the interviews, and even when he tries to cut a promo in the ring, he's very shy and he stumbles a lot.
Reserved, you
Sure.
might say. Reserved.
Sure. But I like that characteristic about him.
Yeah. It comes off well.
It does.
Pam is not reserved.
No.
And she asks Kevin out on a date, and he says yes.
I don't think Kevin has been on very many dates.
I call bullshit.
You call bullshit?
We're not there.
Why do you call bullshit?
So there's a scene later where we see Kevin lose his virginity to Pam.
Yes.
I don't know Kevin Von Erich's history. He and I don't talk. He won't return my calls. I do not believe for a second that Kevin Von Erich was a virgin and or that he doesn't know what drugs are, given the height of the Von Erich stardom that he was in the middle of in the world of wrestling. They had to fight the girls off with a stick for they themselves to not get raped.
Yeah, and there was a interview I had heard with him. He said he had to talk to his dad. He said, please stop paying these people to rush the ring and try to grab us and do all this stuff. And his dad's like, I'm not doing that. That's them. That's you guys.
Yeah.
They want you. But portrayed in this movie, I don't think he's been on a lot of dates because he takes her to a barbecue place.
Yeah.
And he's got barbecue sauce all over his face. I just thought that was funny. And I loved it. I thought it was great. He's just sitting there trying to talk to her, trying to bond with her.
What do you want? More ribs?
And he's got his shit all over his face. I was like, yes.
No, okay. Everyone says it's taboo. I disagree. Hot dating advice from a guy who clearly has it together, right? I have no game. No game. If there's a girl I like, can't talk to her. I get all nervous and sweaty.
Yeah.
I'm pathetic. However, if I can get past those roadblocks, I'd prefer like movies going on a date. But when we do dinner, I'm okay with barbecue. I'm not a big barbecue person, but like barbecue's the right mentality. I will frequently go for pasta.
Okay.
Because no one looks refined or elegant eating pasta. You can get through some nervousness and let everyone can just let their guards down and talk more openly and freely as you both look like monsters eating pasta.
Well,
no one's like, I'm going to daintily wrap up my spaghetti in my fork and then it goes to my mouth just perfectly. No, it looks horrible. And you're just like, no, oh, your brother. Blah, 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 blah.
fork.
That's what I'm talking about. And then you can just really get into the real stuff.
I do that shit like a pie eating contest. I put my arms behind my back.
Yeah, but that's just you showing off to her.
Yeah.
Letting her know your skills.
Yes.
Actually, I'm horribly embarrassed by this story, but all the more reason I'll tell it on air. Because my wife thinks it's really endearing.
Oh, okay.
To say growing up, and especially in high school was the worst era for it, but to say I was poor is an understatement. We prayed to have, Bob Cratchit levels of income.
Okay.
Right? We didn't have TV, couldn't afford it. On any given month, the power may or may not be shut off. They couldn't take our water because it was a well. Right? Like we had nothing. And I had my old beat up car. And I took Anna out on our first date, and I'd had my old crank windows. Right? And no, this car had electric. Window went down because it was a hot summer day. Wouldn't roll back up. We're headed to the movie theater. Car window won't get down. My first thought is, I don't have anything in this car. Whatever. Then the storm clouds roll in. And I go, oh no. So Anna and I, before our movie, go to Walmart so I can buy black trash bags and duct tape.
Oh, shit.
And I have to duct tape my window closed with the trash bags to keep the rain out. I was mortified, but I had to do it.
Yeah.
And she just, oh no, I thought that was so cute and endearing. And she didn't bat an eye at it. But you know what? You know what you can't do? Play the game with your date when you're trying to duct tape your shit closed, right? You can't play the game as you're wrestling barbecue or pasta. So no, I'm taking her to a barbecue place. Absolutely.
Okay.
You could just be more real. And you know what? Anna and I just had all the nervousness, all the awkwardness gone. We could just talk and laugh, and we had the best time.
And you got a good memory of it.
Then we watched, it was her pick. I took her to the movies. It was her pick, and she wanted to watch the Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal.
And you married her?
I married her because we spent the entire movie didn't know how bad it was going to be. And we just made fun of the movie pretty loudly together the entire time.
Nice. Okay.
And then I forget where we went for dinner, but whatever. So no, Kevin taking her to the rib joint is, plus they're in Texas.
Yeah, that's true.
We learn Fritz is obsessed with getting the NWA world title in the family. He was cheated and screwed and lied to and never given an opportunity like he deserved.
Me.
Yeah. And now he's forcing that onto his kids.
Yeah, and he's putting a ton of pressure on Kevin.
He's the oldest.
Yeah.
Kevin gets a match against Harley Race.
I like this actor.
The guy doing Harley Race
is good.
Did a good job.
Yes, he did.
He looks the part physically and facially, but he also got it.
He did a good promo as Harley Race.
As Harley.
Yeah.
And then they have a match, and Harley was an old stiff, SOB, and that suplex to the concrete. And
the one thing during this wrestling match that took me out of it was the commentator, Bill Mercer.
Yeah.
God, he was terrible. And I understand it's probably of the time.
Well, it's not like he was Greaser Bowden or somebody.
God.
Man, we're dropping hot names like 4 people know.
It was Tony Schiavone levels of terrible.
Yeah, but at least he was more professional sounding.
That's true. That's true. Who was that other jackass on WCW commentator? Tony Schiavone and
Oh.
God, now I'm gonna have to look that up.
I know it was Bobby Heenan for a while.
I like Bobby Heenan though.
I did like Bobby Heenan on commentary.
Really?
He always seemed too obsessed with getting his jokes out than like building up the talent.
I hated Macho Man as a commentator.
He needed to be in the ring.
Yes.
Well, we're not talking about any of that. We're talking about now. Was it the 80 Olympics?
That I'm not sure, honestly.
Man, but the Summer Olympics are going to be hosted in the Soviet Union. However, they just put a bunch of troops in Afghanistan, and so President Carter announces that the U.S. will not be participating in these Olympics in protest to the Soviet Union's aggressive military nature at the time. Meaning, Kerry's dreams of being an Olympian are dashed.
Yes, and he has to go back home.
Fucking Fritz.
And yes, exactly.
He even says, Kerry, I never wished or wanted wrestling for any of you.
Lies.
Bullshit. He's the worst.
You boys can do whatever makes you happy as long as it's wrestling.
But it's time for you to think about your future, and I think it's time for you to get in the ring with your brothers. He says, I never wanted wrestling for any of you, as he pushes all of his children into wrestling. I want you to think about your future. What do you want to do? I want you to wrestle.
So that's what you're going to do. Yep.
Oh my God.
Mike Tenay was the other guy.
Oh yeah, Mike Tenay. Sure.
Awful. Mike Tenay and Larry Zbyszko was awful. Those three right there. Every time I hear their voice, I'm like, click, turn it off.
I like in that picture of Larry Zbyszko, he's built like a big toe. It's not a flattering picture.
No, it's not.
So now Kerry joins the team, and now we have the three Von Erich brothers, and this really is the height.
Oh yeah,
of the Von Erichs, and we see the montages of them feuding with the fabulous Freebirds, and which is one of the most wild and profitable and popular times in wrestling, were the Von Erichs versus the Freebirds.
Yeah, and I thought the ones that looked like the Freebirds were pretty spot on.
They look good.
Yeah, they look good. They didn't talk, which was fine, but
yeah, but like Terry Gordy looked,
Michael P.S. Hayes looked good.
Yeah, they look good, and so the matches look again. I like the in-ring stuff. It looks good.
I do too. And this is when we get the montage set to Rush.
Dare you?
God.
How dare you?
Terrible.
Because Mike, when his parents are away, is listening to a new record he's got, and it's Rush. And while working out, Kerry hears the song Tom Sawyer. And that becomes their entrance theme, because there for a while he was the modern day warrior, Kerry Von Erich, which is also so much better than the Texas Tornado.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If he had come in to Rush as the modern day warrior, Kerry Von Erich, that would have been something you could get behind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Someone should do that now.
Not Rush.
No, definitely Rush.
No.
Yes.
Rush needs to go away.
You need to go away. Rush is fantastic. I'm about to play Red Barchetta just to piss you off. But now we get the montage of the three boys again at their height. They were untouchable. They could do whatever they wanted. They could go wherever they wanted.
Yeah, and they won. Didn't they win the tag belts?
Well, no, they won. They won the 6-man tag
belts. Yeah. And I like this moment where they're in the ring celebrating their win. Fritz comes in, takes the mic, and does his spiel, but the camera never cuts back and forth to each of the brothers getting their reaction. It's all just a static shot, so you have to kind of look at each one individually if you want to see it. But Fritz says something about David going after the title belt.
Yeah. He also makes a comment about, and when Mike gets in the ring, and you can look at Mike's face and he's going, what the?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And same way with Kevin, when David says, or when Fritz says David is going after the championship, Kevin's like, really? What? And even David says something to Kevin about it, and he's like, no, he doesn't make mistakes when he talks like that.
Yeah.
I just liked that, because it could have been so easily just to cut back to Kevin's face and David's face and Mike's face so that we get the reaction right in our face.
Yeah.
But this is cool. I like this.
Not only is it less jarring because you don't have all the cuts, but it also maintains the scene integrity of it being filmed like they filmed wrestling at the time.
Absolutely.
So it works in both ways.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, even if we didn't have the filming it like it was 1979 or 1980, whatever year it was, whatever it was. Even if you didn't have that aspect, yeah, I preferred the shot with everyone. And then you can just, use your eyes.
Yeah.
And see what everyone's up to. Now, if this had been directed by, say, like Robert Eggers, it would have been, a cut to Fritz, and then a cut to Kevin, and then it would cut to Mike, and then it would cut to the audience, and then there would be a world tag belt getting closer and closer and closer to the ring. And then it would cut to someone else, and then it would cut back to the world title getting closer and closer and closer, and then it would cut back, and then there would be birds in the sky. Piece of garbage.
Okay.
Say Rush again.
Rush sucks.
So then
Fritz, I want to back up just a minute. Fritz says something. Mike is talking, when they're at the table, Mike is talking about the wrestling show, about the camera angles.
And how great it
looks. And Fritz gets onto him. Like, who cares about camera cuts? Who cares about camera angles? We're talking about wrestling.
He doesn't get it.
No.
So, not only is he dumping on something that his son likes about the family business.
Yes.
So he's dumping on his son, dumping on an interest his son has, dumping on the interest his son has in the family business, but also doesn't get the importance to his own business that Mike is talking about.
Absolutely. Because I'm like, if that was me, I'd be like, oh, you like this stuff? Awesome. That is your job. You take care of the camera part of it. Let the brothers wrestle or whatever.
Yeah.
But
if you wanted to bring, in this instance, Mike in, if he had an interest and you set him to like studying the technical aspect and that side of the business and getting some ideas, and he showed an aptitude for it, absolutely.
Yeah, but Fritz is just so focused.
Mm-hmm.
He's so blind to everything else going on. He's looking at that belt.
Pam and Kevin get married. And we learn that David is sick because he's in the restroom at the wedding venue vomiting blood.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's bad.
That is bad.
I'm no doctor.
Yeah. I've had a class.
Okay.
Yeah.
CPR?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
If you're about to talk about your gallbladder or lack thereof.
No, I'm not going to talk about that.
But we learned David's sick.
But I don't have a gallbladder, so there's...
Yeah, watch out for those surprise sneezes. But we learned David is sick, and Kevin's like, I'll take you to a doctor like right now. Like, we need to get, and he's like, no, it's fine. I just picked up a bug or something on the road. Because this is the point where it's now official. David is going to spend the next 6 months feuding with Ric Flair for the title, going to go to Japan, try to get over there, because as Fritz tells them, you cannot be world champion unless you're over in Japan.
Yes.
And then, if all goes well, Texas Stadium, you win the title, and you become the next NWA World Heavyweight Champion. David pushes through, and Fritz gets a phone call. And we learn that David died in his hotel room. He had intestinal rupture?
Yeah.
Something?
Yes. Is what the official story is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, this didn't make it in the movie, and I don't know if they filmed it, but the real life story I had always heard was it had gotten bad enough that David went to the family and was like, I have to go to the hospital. Something is seriously wrong, like seriously wrong. And I might miss the Japan tour. And Fritz lost his mind.
That would not surprise me.
And was like, no, you are booked. You are scheduled. You do not miss dates.
Yeah, you have a
You do
commitment.
not miss bookings. You have which is a joke because the Von Erichs missed almost as many shows as they made. But that's a separate story. But basically, Fritz chewed him up one side, down the other. David felt forced, went, died. I don't even know if he made it to a single match in Japan.
Yeah, that I'm not sure.
But if he did, it wasn't many.
Yeah,
of the Japan commitment, and then just almost immediately died. And when he got over there, it was that bad. And he recognized something was seriously wrong, and it was Fritz that forced the issue.
Sounds about right.
That's the story I've always heard about David's passing.
So, okay, this part bothered me. Kevin walks in the house. Fritz is sitting at the dining room table.
He's distraught, but not overly.
Yeah. This felt very Veronica to me.
Okay.
How we learn Veronica's character passes away over the radio from a stranger to another stranger. It felt that way. Like Kevin is learning that his brother died from his father telling him.
But that's how Kevin learned his brother died.
Yeah, but I understand that. But that's how it made me feel was Fritz almost felt like that stranger in Veronica that just really didn't give a shit that the kid, the Veronica died because he didn't know her. It felt like that. Fritz is just like, yeah, your brother died.
So your issue isn't that that's how the movie talks about. Your issue isn't that we don't see David die like it is in Veronica. Your issue is that Fritz is so
just nonchalant about
detached.
it. Yeah, he's just kind of. It's like he's reading it on the paper, like in the paper.
Did you hear so and so died today? Yeah,
exactly. And it's just I don't know. That bothered me.
Then they're getting ready for the funeral, and the brothers are sitting together on the porch in their suits, and they've got their sunglasses on. And Fritz comes out, and he's like, "You take those sunglasses off. You're not going to hide from this. You're going to show the people your faces, and you're not going to cry."
What shit?
He was not going to let them express emotion over the death of their brother.
Yeah. And he can't even let it go one day before he's already talking about replacing David
with Carrie.
Or with one of the brothers.
Oh, they do the coin flip. Yeah.
But the funeral's over. Everybody's gone home. They're sitting on the porch still in their suits.
Mm-hmm.
And Fritz is just like, okay, we got a vacancy.
But see, I don't even know if that was after that might have been pre-funeral.
It might have been, yeah.
I think that was they're on their way to.
But I'm just like, God dang, dude. Can you give it 24 hours?
Read the room, man.
Shit.
You cannot cry at your brother's funeral.
Yeah. Toxic.
But ultimately, they are forced into this situation. But Kerry does take up the mantle as the Von Erich who's going to try to get the title. And then, you know about the wrestling feud between Kerry and Rick, right? Relatively short in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
And basically, the feud was Kerry just, no, this is for David. They just sold David's death.
Oh, yes.
As on TV.
Yeah,
as the wrestling angle.
They had a an angle with that. Okay, I remember hearing about that, but I don't.
And then, if we're being honest, the only reason the NWA committee agreed and elected for Kerry to win against Rick was because everyone felt horrible about David's passing.
Yeah,
it was a pity thing.
I could see that.
But like Fritz worked it into the main point of Kerry going for the title.
So Doris is in the living room watching you know what I'm going to talk about?
She's watching Kerry's match against Rick.
I hated this. I absolutely hated
where
this.
There's a ghostly apparition sitting on the stairs.
So stupid.
Watching the match. Well, don't worry. We're about to get something far more egregious than that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but I'm like, wait a minute. Are we getting a haunted house movie now? Like, what are we doing?
I didn't take it that way. I just took it more. It's slightly ham-fisted the way it was done.
Yeah.
But it more just like, this is Doris processing the death of her son and still feels him in the house.
Yeah.
But it could have been done better than, look, there's literal David's ghost sitting on the stairs watching the TV.
Yeah. She could have been holding something of his or
even just like
a picture
looking out the window, and then you could have just had David's voice like, come on, guy, or while they're playing football or something.
Something else.
Or even if she's looking out the window and then we see them playing, we know they're not home, but now we're seeing them play football together, and her sight lingers on David. There are other ways we can do it than literal ghost sits on steps.
Yeah. Fucking Casper moment. That was dumb. Yeah. But I did love.
I didn't hate it like you did. But
I hated it. But right after that, it gets a moment that I absolutely loved. The camera is outside. You see the tree, see the farm, and it's just kind of slowly pushing in a little bit of movement, but you hear that commentator in the background, and he's kind of muffled, and they're like, they're excited that Kerry won the title, but the way the sound is down, and it just slowly gets quieter and quieter, there's no excitement at the house.
No.
And I don't know. I love that a lot. I thought that was done really well. But yeah, it sucks that you get that shitty ghost moment, and then right after that you get this awesome shot and moment of Kerry winning.
I hate all these shitty ghost moments.
God.
See, Kerry wins the title. Now he's having trouble, as he puts it in the movie, coming down from his big win. And he takes his motorcycle out for a spin, which leads to, this was highly publicized, his big motorcycle accident. Now, what was kept a secret for decades, basically no one outside the family knew Kerry lost his foot.
Yeah, and I was listening to a wrestling podcast the other day. They were talking about Kerry Von Erich. And I think it might have been Jim Cornette, honestly. But he was talking about nobody in WWF knew that he didn't have a foot.
No one knew.
He would come to the ring or the arena already dressed. He would get done and shower with his boots on and then get dressed and leave. But apparently there was a match and I cannot remember who he said the match was with, but he went to put him in like a leg lock or some move, and the boot came off. And he freaked out. Kerry freaked out, grabbed his boot, got down on the floor, put his feet underneath the ring and the apron, and put his boot back on.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine being the wrestler who pulls his boot off.
You know, that guy felt terrible.
And is like, wait a minute. Oh my God, did I just rip his foot? What the hell just happened?
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was cool.
And honestly, so I've never heard that story, but if that happened, that also probably explains why they phased him out.
Probably.
Because he had a rocket strapped to him in the WWF for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he won the Intercontinental title, and
I think that was his first match in the WWF.
Was against Mr.
Perfect.
Perfect, and was, seemed like he was going places.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that then happened, Vince wasn't going to go with that.
Yeah. But I like how they did this moment where he gets on the motorcycle, you just see the road, and then it cuts to what we think is possibly the next morning. But he's getting out of bed, and you notice he's got some road rash on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, well, he was drinking and had an accident, and he got crutches. You're like, wait, what the hell? Because I had totally forgotten about the whole foot thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he comes into the kitchen, and then the camera's static, and there it is. He's walking in with no foot. I'm like, oh, shit. I thought that was done really well. I like that a lot.
With Kerry out, they need another Von Erich in the ring.
Step it up, Mike.
And this is when Mike gets called in. And we see Mike training with Kevin and someone from the office, some trainer. I don't know who it was. He's trying, but he's physically awkward. He doesn't get it. He's trying, but he's not a natural. He's struggling with the moves. He's just... It's not him.
No.
But they push it. We see him in a match. He does a few drop kicks, but on the last one, he hits the mat and starts screaming.
I like this actor. I've never seen him in anything.
No, Stanley Simmons.
Yes, but he was really good.
And he's clutching his shoulder. And then it cuts to Kevin and Fritz at the hospital as Mike is getting emergency shoulder surgery. Doctor comes out, is rather glum, explains that the surgery went perfectly, or, as planned. Unfortunately, there were unforeseen complications. And Mike ended up suffering on the table from what was called toxic shock syndrome, causing him to have like a 107 fever for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's not good.
And that put him in a coma. And, on the bright side, he wakes up from his coma. On the dark side, you can't have a 107-degree fever for 30 minutes. He's,
It's like that old 80s drug commercial with the egg.
This is your brain on drugs.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. And it's just cooked. It just cooked the hell out of his brain.
Heavily brain damage.
Yes.
And this is where I like all four of the actors playing the brothers.
I liked three of them.
Was it David?
David.
I thought he was fine.
He was fine, but compared to the other three.
Agreed, but he also had the least to do.
Well, I mean, he had the ghost moment. Come on. Patrick fucking Swayze could do it.
Doris was making pottery. And then David comes up behind
She's trying to paint again, and he comes and takes the hand. Like Egon in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, God. Hot Ghostbusters Afterlife reference. Good Lord. I enjoyed Afterlife. I never saw Frozen Empire.
I loved Afterlife a lot. And I was super excited for Frozen Empire. That movie sucks. It's good for like 4 minutes.
And where at in the 4 minutes?
end.
So you have to watch the whole movie to get the 1 4-minute segment that's good.
They had to force every single character from Afterlife to be in this movie, come up with just god-awful ways to bring them back. Some of them don't do anything that regards anything to the plot. The laughs are not there. It's terrible. Join us next week for
Frozen Empire. Damn it, what were we talking about?
the painting. She's taking.
Oh, that's right.
Ghost David.
No, I thought all 4 of them did fine, but post surgery Mike is where I thought Stanley Simmons' acting shined.
Oh, absolutely. I was worried when he was sitting at the table for the interview. I thought, oh, are they going to do? Is this going to be like a radio thing?
Oh yeah,
You know,
he was just no, and that's the thing. He wasn't handicapped or disabled, but
Exactly.
he was very slow and spacey.
they could have screwed this up really bad.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but I also think it helps that there was interviews and material to go off of.
Oh yeah,
To be like, no, this is how Mike was after, so they knew where the line was.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. This guy does a great job.
It's
here.
like even I don't understand how, but his face changed.
exactly. Yeah,
It's not makeup. It's not prosthetic. He wore his face a different way to portray the damage. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah. Oh no, I get it. Yeah,
He was doing such a phenomenal job physically acting. You could visually tell he was permanently changed.
yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's heartbreaking. But the acting is phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
Mike might be Stanley Simmons might give the best performance in this movie.
It's close.
It's damn close.
It's a battle.
But you're right. Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, and Stanley Simmons are in a triple threat match for best actor in this movie.
Yes, absolutely.
And again, Fritz
Holt
does a phenomenal job.
I agree.
But damn, we see Mike struggling with his day-to-day. Again, it's not like he needs assistance walking around. It's not like he just sits in front of the TV drooling, although he does drool a little. But you can just tell he's different.
Yes.
And there's a scene where it's more obvious, but you can also tell. But I think what makes it even worse, it makes it better as far as a movie, but it makes the situation worse. Mike realizes how different he is now. Mike is aware of the damage. He's aware of the changes in himself. And we get them on, he's trying to talk to his mom. He's eating. But then we see him up in his room trying to play his guitar.
This was kind of hard to watch, honestly.
Yes, but in the right kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's hard to watch bad and there's hard to watch good.
Yeah,
this is hard to watch good.
You just see it on his face. He's like, I'm done. I can't.
He's trying to do the one thing he loved, and he can't. And that's the breaking point. And then we see him go to the bathroom, and he opens up a bottle of pain pills and takes the vast majority of them.
Yeah, and washes him down with a beer.
Washes him down with a beard, and then just he gets like a sleeping bag and just finds somewhere quiet to relax, for lack of a better term. And he leaves a suicide note that's only like 2 sentences. And for the life of me, I can't remember what it said.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Not that it's not like it's this overly important, but it's just 2 sentences of he's done.
I think it's important because it's only 2 sentences.
Yeah,
'Cause
I think the length is important,
Yes.
but the actual it's not like he had this really insightful
no.
final, or he wasn't like, and to my brothers, we've let dad run our lives like a tyrant and don't end up like I did because of him. There wasn't that. It
Yeah.
was just, I'm sorry if this hurts anyone. I think that might have been the first line.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
sorry I hurt you.
I'm sorry if I hurt you.
But I can't do this.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, or
something to that effect. He gets a sleeping bag and he finds a favorite spot, presumably, and then the family finds the note. They go out searching for him and find him.
Yeah.
And now we see Kevin, his depression worsens, obviously. And we see how he can't get out of bed. He can't function. And as somebody who struggles with those issues, I get Kevin in this moment. And
he doesn't even want to be around his family.
And that's the thing. So now we see like his first son get born, and he makes sure that the child's name is Atkinson, not Von Erich. And even Pam is like, are you sure? Yes.
I don't want him to catch it.
I don't want him to catch it. And then after Mike dies, he doesn't even go home anymore. He sleeps in the office because he doesn't want to bring the curse home to his wife and son.
Yeah. Damn.
But even just seeing, Kevin, I'm running late for work. Can you watch, Junior, whatever his name, whatever the kid's name is, watch a Junior while I get ready. And he's just kind of muttering to himself, and he's responding to her, but he's not aware. He's not fully there.
Right.
And she kind of snaps him out of it. And he's like, oh, yeah, of course. And he takes this, he's not a jerk. He's not trying to be despondent or not present to his family, but he's in such a state. He can't help it. And then, now he doesn't want to bring the curse home. And it's just, oh my gosh. Then we see Kevin gets a shot at Ric Flair. Not for the title, but he gets a chance to shine with Ric Flair because his life is in shambles. And yet the one thing he's still able to mostly do is wrestle.
There's a moment where he's training that I absolutely loved. Was the camera is set on the ring. You got that one rope in focus.
He's running the
ropes, and he comes in focus and bounces back, goes out of focus, and he's just running and running and running and running.
Yeah,
this was a beautiful shot too. I love this.
The sound is great because you just hear him hit the ropes. You hear his feet run across the mat. You hear him hit the other ropes, and that's pretty much all you get. And you can just tell this is more than exercise.
Oh yeah. So I loved this moment with him running the ropes. I hate Ric Flair's portrayal here.
This actor is so bad. I will never believe he did any homework on Ric Flair.
I think he watched one promo.
No, he didn't.
Well, he sure as shit didn't watch how he does the strut. Did you see the strut?
I saw something.
I don't know what that was.
It wasn't a strut. His
Stone Cold did a better Ric Flair strut
when he was making fun of Jeff Jarrett.
Yes. Oh
yeah, because Stone Cold is physically coordinated.
This was awful.
This was a bum they found behind the studio.
The promo he cuts,
the wig is awful. He can't even woo.
No,
woo! I'm like, what are you doing? He can do nothing.
The only thing that slightly resembled Ric Flair was the blood in his hair.
Yeah.
And that was
That was it.
This took me out so bad.
Me too.
But in all honesty,
I hate it.
In all fairness to the actor,
No.
it's Ric Flair is such, and I'm not a Ric Flair fan, but he is such an icon. He is such a recognizable figure. I don't think anybody really could have done it. I think he had an impossible task.
Disagree.
I
Disagree.
I don't know.
I'm not saying he had to do a voice. Like, everyone can do a Hulk Hogan, a Macho Man Randy Savage, a Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
Don't do a voice. But you know what you definitely do? Watch the pro. If nothing else, watch the promo that you're doing the scene on. And learn how Rick speaks. Not a voice. His cadence.
Yeah, even that was...
Learn when he gets intense, when he comes back. And when you're portraying a real person from a real, very documented moment, that is not a time for artistic liberty.
No.
Be the person you're supposed to be portraying.
Yeah.
This guy sucks.
This was terrible.
It took me, like you said, took me out of the movie. I was so egregiously appalled.
Yeah.
And then Anna's just laughing at me because she can see how visibly angry I am. She's like, every time he did this the first time too. I'm like, look at him. It's horrible. I could have done, nay, can do a better job than that guy did. Give me the line.
No.
Give me the line. I'll do it spur of the moment right now better than that guy.
I was throwing up blood watching this.
This movie, or this moment in the movie, ruptured my intestines.
Yes. Oh, god awful. Yeah, it took me out so hard.
Like, the Harley race wasn't perfect, but
he had
it was good
aura.
Enough.
Yes.
It was passable. It was believable. You could roll with it. This was a train wreck.
Absolutely.
The Ric Flair is awful.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst part of this whole movie.
In my notes, I hate Ric Flair. Or, excuse me, I hate this Ric Flair.
Oh, no, I just hate Ric Flair, but...
I hate Ric Flair now.
I've always hated Ric Flair. I just never really understood the hype.
See, that's how I feel about Hogan. I get Flair. I was never a Hulkamaniac.
Really?
I was like, he can't wrestle. He can't do anything.
He can wrestle. When he was in Japan,
that's true.
He was doing shit. He was doing like enziguris, and I'm like, where the hell's this guy?
Yeah.
But no.
Okay, let me put it this way. Rick is a lot of things. Most of them are bad. Rick has never lied about seeing a Make-A-Wish kid. Hulk Hogan has very publicly lied about seeing a Make-A-Wish kid.
Oh, Hulk Hogan is possibly the worst in wrestling.
I thought you were going to say humanity. He's the worst human being.
No, he's not the worst human being. It's a close race, but
his horse is in the starting lineup.
Yes. I love the story of listening to Undertaker talking about when he gave Hogan the tombstone.
You hurt me, kid.
Yeah.
You hurt. Oh, my shoulder. You got me.
Neck,
yeah.
What he said. And
you got me, kid.
He's like, Undertaker was like, oh my God, I just hurt the golden goose, is what he said.
Yeah. And he believed it for like 2 years.
And yeah, and then he's like, I watched the tape, and I'm like, wait a minute. Your head was nowhere near the mat.
That was the safest tombstone I've ever seen.
Yes, it was. It was no Coco Beware tombstone, but
the very first one, yeah. God, he plants Coco. Which he felt bad for.
Yeah.
Just no, Hulk Hogan is fucking worst. Oh, he's almost as bad as this fake Ric Flair. But we see now Kevin's struggles are bleeding into the ring. But as it goes,
Yeah, he gets disqualified.
right.
And
Which is okay, this movie struggles
I know
with,
exactly what you're going to say.
it struggles with the concept of kayfabe.
Yes. It's back and forth.
Sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not.
Yes.
There was never a moment where Kevin Von Erich went against the grain and got disqualified from an actual physical contest against the world heavyweight champion. That did not happen. Nor did he get berated about it by Fritz and Carrie. That did not happen.
And see, it doesn't bother me that they didn't go by exactly what happened. It bothers me that they keep playing back and forth with the kayfabe.
Wrestling is real when the story or the plot or the writing wants it to be real, but then it's fake when the story and the plot and the writing want it to be fake. Pick one.
Yeah.
I don't care which.
Exactly.
Because honestly, so there's in the movie, during the first date with Pam, she asks Kevin, well, isn't it all fake? I guarantee you, Kevin would not have alluded to any kind of falsehood, predetermined. He would not have smartened up a girl he went on one date with to the inner workings of the business. That would not have happened.
I like what he says, though. He says it's like any job. It's like a promotion.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. But because they even do it too, like when they're talking to, I think they're talking to the Freebirds in the ring. They're mapping out their match.
Yeah.
So they're showing that wrestling is predetermined.
Oh no, that wasn't the Freebirds. That was Bruiser Brody and Gino Hernandez.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
okay.
that's who that's that sequence.
But
yeah.
they're showing it here that this is what we're doing. This is how wrestling is. And then later, when the story needs it, they show it a different way. And they do that a couple different times.
Yeah.
And that bothered the hell out of me.
No, it's either embrace the term kayfabe, which is like when wrestling is real and everyone believes it's real and they treat it as real, or as fake, predetermined. But pick one.
Yeah.
Don't seesaw. That pisses me off.
I like Kevin's reaction to his father when he's in the locker room.
Yeah.
Fritz is kind of pissed off at him for doing this, and Carrie is kind of the same way. And Fritz is like, "Come on, Carrie, let's get out of here." And he leaves, and Kevin is just sitting there, and he just kind of chuckles a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of done with his dad's shit.
Yeah, he sees it.
Yeah, he sees what's going on.
Now, this scene is also ruined by more fake Ric Flair.
Yes.
Man, you guys are fucking crazy. We're gonna go. Let's get a beer. We're gonna get fucked up.
God. Yeah. Well, I don't know why he was there. No.
To ruin the scene.
Yeah.
Everyone went, wait, this moment might be too good. But ultimately, Kevin, while sleeping in the office, finds Fritz's books.
Yes.
And learns Fritz has been cooking them a little bit.
A little bit. He's not making what the books say he's been making.
So we learn that the Von Erich boys, all of them, are officially documented as being paid X. But in reality, they've been paid X minus.
Yes. I liked this little moment with all the names in the books. But I
just seeing the names.
Yeah, I didn't pause it or anything, but I just caught like Andre the Giant was there at one point. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Making like $1,000. Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Oh, so, and then when, granted, it's not.
Yeah, because Kevin confronts him about it too.
Yes.
While they're watching Carrie.
And he's like, I've seen the books.
Wrestle.
And that's when Fritz kind of gestures to the house. He's like, you think this is a free ride? Fuck you.
Yeah.
How do I put this? Because I've encountered parents with this mentality of the children don't get a free ride. They live in my house. Motherfucker, they didn't ask to be born. Because I guarantee you, if they had a choice, they wouldn't have been born to you, you piece of shit. Be a fucking parent.
Absolutely.
I cannot stand these people.
I agree.
But that's what Fritz is doing.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, Carrie goes to the WWF. Fritz retires and gives the WCCW to Kevin. Kevin blows up with his dad. They have their argument about payoffs and all that. And Kevin, at this point, goes home.
Well, Kevin says something to him about selling it.
Yes.
To Jerry Jarrett.
Jerry Jarrett.
And Fritz tells him, if you sell, don't bother walking through those doors ever again.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn.
And I went, perfect, no downside.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too, was okay,
because
sell it.
At this point, Kevin has recovered enough. He's home. He's with Pam. He's with his child. They have another child, but their apartment is now too small for their life. And I get that. I remember when Anna and I outgrew our first apartment.
Yeah.
It happens. But they weren't making the money to get a house. And that's when Kevin learns that Jerry has made a new offer, and it's a very nice offer. And Kevin takes it. And then we see a scene of him talking to Jerry Jarrett, and he's like, Jarrett tells him, obviously your name means something, and I want you to stick around as long as you want to stick around. And Kevin thanks him. He's like, thanks, I could use the money. So yeah, so sells the company, establishes a good working relationship with the new boss, and Jerry knows Kevin,
yeah.
And they're good.
Yeah.
And then, but Jarrett tells him, he's like, yeah, your dad invited me out to the ranch and kind of threatened me against buying. And Kevin's like, well, I'm glad he didn't succeed.
Yeah. And this is another terrible wig. Jerry Jarrett's wig. And I didn't notice it until he started to leave and walk down the stairs of the sportatorium.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's fucking terrible.
The wig department, come on.
Oh.
Maybe they should have spent $16 million.
Yes. And I mean, there's a lot of time that passes in this story.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, get a different haircut.
Because, we start in the 70s and we end in the 90s.
Yeah. So I'm like, get a different haircut, please.
It may have been historically accurate.
Prince Adam looking motherfucker. I have the power.
Yes.
Yeah, if they don't cast Zac Efron as He-Man in the new He-Man live action, I'm going to riot.
He had the body.
He already has the body. Come on. And the hair.
So Kevin is just done. He's done with his dad. He's done with the garbage. He sells the company. He's working with Jarrett. He's making money. He's doing what's right for his family. Finally. But unfortunately, now we're seeing Carrie spiral more. He's trying to keep going with his one foot, but
he's in pain.
He's addicted to multiple substances. He's spiraling, and ultimately, there's kind of a weird blow up at Christmas dinner.
Yeah, over the gun
and whatever. But ultimately, very early morning, Carrie calls Kevin. I'm done, man. I'm struggling. I don't know what to do. I just want it to end. And is basically, bearing his soul. And Kevin's like, dude, where are you? I don't know, man. I'm in some hotel in Dallas. And he's just, you promise me you don't do anything. I'm coming to get you.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. They hang up. Kevin's getting ready to leave, calls Fritz, and is like, hey, just got off the phone with Carrie. He's in a real bad state. We got to do something. We got to take care of him. I'm going to bring him to the house. Can you look after him? Well, that's just something you need to work out with your brother. I'm not involved in this. But if they don't owe each other money. What do you think he's saying to you right now?
Yeah. He just disregards it.
He doesn't. God.
Yeah. And that's not the last time that I'm going to get pissed at Fritz.
Nope. So, Kevin gets Carrie. Carrie's at home. And Kevin shows up to either be with him, do something.
Yeah.
And he goes inside. No one's around.
Yeah, well, he pulls up to the house and the car's sitting there with the door wide open. Then he's going into the house, towards the house. The front door is wide open.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's trying to go in and look around. And that's when he hears the gunshot.
He hears the gunshot. And now he's running out of the house. Carrie, and there's Carrie's body under a tree.
Shot himself through the heart.
And here comes Fritz running, trying to figure out what's going on. And there's Carrie's dead, and Fritz is just standing there, and Kevin I told you to look out for him. You were supposed to look out for him. And Fritz turns and points that finger, and he said, well, your brother called you.
Yeah.
Where were you? Why weren't you looking out for him? To which Kevin grabs him by the throat with both hands, and about as close as you can get, near chokes him to death, and I rooted every moment of it.
I did too.
I wanted him to kill Fritz.
I was a little bit longer.
If Fritz had died, I would have cheered.
Yes.
And then with Fritz gasping for air, because I think it's twofold, because I've seen this before too. Fritz believes he's got such a stranglehold, no pun intended, on the lives of his sons, they'll never go against him.
Oh, yeah.
I also think Fritz has struggled to realize that he's a 60-something-year-old man and is not the physical specimen he used to be, while his son, the 40-year-old active professional wrestler who is still a physical specimen, they're not in the same league.
No.
If this comes to blows. And I think in Fritz's mind, he still remembers when he was 20 and thinks he could handle it. And then Kevin just runs him over like a train. And Fritz could do nothing except hope Kevin doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
And that's something you see with these toxic guys too. They have no self-awareness as far as are you aware of your physical state? Do you know that you are not 25? If you come to blows like you're wanting this to come,
yeah,
you are going to get really hurt.
Yeah, you're going to leave here in an ambulance. Yeah.
Or a hearse,
yeah,
motherfucker.
And
then Fritz is handled. Kevin picks up Carrie and lays him out on the family table. God. Now we get the... You thought the ghost was egregious?
Ugh.
I don't hate the scene as far... It's well shot. It's well acted. I don't understand why this didn't hit the editing floor.
I don't
What
either.
purpose does it serve? We now switch to the point of view of Carrie waking up at home, and he gets out of bed, and you see him rolling his shoulders. He realizes he feels good, and then he stands up, and he has both feet, and he begins to run and jump, and now he's just walking out in the open, and no one's around, and then he gets in a little boat, and he starts rowing this little boat somewhere, and he kind of realizes he's dead. And then there, on a dock in the distance, he sees two figures. They see him, they stand up and they wave, and his little boat goes to the dock, and there's Mike and David, and they hug, and they embrace in the afterlife. And then that's when he's like, hey, where's Jack Jr., the brother technically the oldest brother who died as a child in a tragic accident
Yes.
that the movie touches on some.
A little bit.
And they're like, where's Jack Jr.? And they look, and there's this little 6-year-old boy. It's like, oh, you're my big brother. And they all hug in heaven. And I'm going, why? Why?
I've heard, is I've listened to a few podcasts about this movie.
Yeah.
Because there's things I'm hoping some other people will touch on that will make it make sense to me. And honestly, I've listened to so many podcasts, I don't remember exactly which one said this, but they basically say like it's supposed to be in Kevin's mind.
That's how I took it.
But still,
in my mind, this whole shot, this whole sequence is to make Kevin happy.
yes.
Because in his mind, this is how he pictures it going down.
Yes. But even that, it's not done very well to show that it's in Kevin's mind.
No.
But you're right. It should have been on the cutting room floor.
Well, here's the thing. It didn't happen in Kevin's mind. We already saw a ghost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We saw the Von Erich brothers reunite in heaven, which on the face of it, I'm not against. But it's unneeded.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's jarring because it doesn't really have much to do with anything.
No.
At one point in heaven, David has the world heavyweight title.
Yeah.
And Carrie sees it. He's like, finally, was it world heavyweight champion in heaven? He's like, yeah, finally.
Ugh. Terrible.
I don't
know.
It's
This took me out too.
Yeah.
The ghost,
Flair.
Ric Flair, and the heaven shit.
And I feel bad for dogging on the heaven shit because I get that this is highly therapeutic for Kevin. And it at face value, it's a nice sequence.
Yeah, it's shot well.
But it doesn't add anything.
No.
It should have been edited out if we're being fair and honest.
Absolutely. I do like that Doris is kind of done with Fritz's shit too.
Yeah. They don't talk about it in the movie, but they did divorce.
Did they?
They divorced.
But I like, because she's talking to Mike when Mike was still alive, but he was in his state.
Yeah.
About the painting on the wall. And Doris says, yeah, I painted that. And Mike's like, I didn't know you painted. Why didn't you ever tell any of us this? Well, you just kind of, and she makes some excuse.
She's like, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
then at the end here, when Fritz comes into the kitchen, he's like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm just painting. Well, what's for dinner?
Nothing.
I'm
not very hungry.
I'm not hungry. And I'm like, yeah, go fucking cook your own shit, dude.
Yeah. Instead of cooking your sons to death.
Yeah.
Jesus. But then we see that Kevin gets the happy ending.
Yeah, he's in the yard with his boys, and
now I almost cried here.
Really?
Yeah.
What part?
Not enough to go on that board, but it got damn close. Admittedly, it got damn close. Kevin sitting in the yard watching his sons play, and his wife comes over, sees him, what's wrong? I just miss what they have. Damn.
Well, because the boys come over.
And they see, and they're, Dad, what's wrong? I'm sorry, boys. You shouldn't see me cry. And I like that they're like, we cry all the time, Dad. It's fine. And he kind of smiles and nods, like he's not passing on his dad's toxic masculinity, and he's agreeing with them. But just when he tells his wife, what's wrong? He's sitting there watching his boys play as brothers, as siblings, remembering doing that and knowing they're gone.
Yeah, and he says to his sons,
I just got chills thinking about it.
I used to be a brother. And the boys are like, well, we'll be your brothers, Dad. And then they're all playing in the yard again. And I'm sorry, I hate that line.
We'll be your brothers,
I
Dad?
used to be a brother. I'm just,
No, that's a real line, though.
I know it
And
is. And
technically, the true line from Kevin is, I used to have, and this is really important. So if the math seems wrong, we're going to talk about that. I used to have 5 brothers. Now I'm not even a brother.
see, and I like that. I don't know what it is. I used to be a brother. I don't know. There's something about it I just didn't like. And it may have been that comment from the kid. Well, we'll be your brothers, Dad.
No, that was sweet.
There was-
You are a horrible
I
person.
don't know. There was
You
just
are a
something there.
horrible person.
Well, yeah, that's not
No, and Zac Efron is killing it.
oh, he's doing
We've been talking about the others predominantly, but and we haven't been giving fair credit. Zac Efron is on fire this entire movie. I like Zac Efron,
I do too.
but if I didn't, like, let's say this was the first body of work of his that I saw, this would make me a Zac Efron fan.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's funny when he needs to be funny. He's shy and awkward. He's a physical specimen. He can show that emotion. His range in this movie is phenomenal.
I agree.
And if you have not watched anything in Zac Efron and you're unsure, this movie will make you a Zac Efron fan.
I agree.
He's so good in this. But no, Kevin gets his happy ending. Now, the line historically is, I used to have 5 brothers.
Yes.
Now I'm not even a brother. Let's do some counting. This movie, go ahead.
This is what really irritates me about this movie.
So, this movie mentions Jack Jr., Kevin, David, Terry, Mike.
That's 5.
That's 5. So, if we take Kevin out, he has 4 brothers. So what the hell does this line mean? Oh, wait. A movie about the Von Erich family, about the Von Erich tragedy, and the importance in the brotherly relationship left out Chris Von Erich.
Yes.
Was he younger than Mike? I don't know everyone's ages.
I don't remember.
There is a 6th Von Erich brother named Chris, who also committed suicide at the age of 21 by shooting himself in the head.
Yes.
It's not that he's underplayed in this film. If you just go by this film about family and family tragedy and bonding and brotherhood and the importance of family, he's not even in it.
Yeah. And
They completely removed another brother.
it pisses me off a little bit.
Fuck Chris, I guess.
I guess, but
Kevin really just didn't get Chris. They just, that guy sucked.
because the thing that I had read is one of the reasons why he got very depressed was because of his lack of success in the wrestling business.
Yeah,
And lack of getting to his brother's level.
sure.
So he got super depressed.
He was addicted, I think, to a few things.
Something, yeah. And then shot himself. Yeah. So to not include him in this movie is a slap in the face to him.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you shot yourself because you couldn't live up to your brothers in the wrestling business. Well, you know what? We're not even going to include you in this family biopic.
And if anything, his inclusion is just another nail in Fritz's coffin.
Absolutely.
As far as his parenting style, his push. And if anything, he's the other side of the coin for Mike. Mike didn't want it and wasn't very good at it.
Yes.
Chris did want it, but just didn't have it.
Yeah.
And we see both sides of that, or we would have seen both sides of that. But a movie about family and brothers, when to omit a brother undercuts the feel a bit, does it not?
It does. And
It feels kind of,
like I said earlier,
know.
the whole biopic thing, I take it for what the movie is, what it gives me. But I'm sorry, when you omit a brother
from a story about if this was the Kevin story,
yes,
that's one thing. This is the Von Erich story.
The Von Erich story.
So we're only going to include the Von Erichs we want to include?
It sucks. And I'd heard the reason Sean Durkin didn't want to include Chris is because he didn't believe audiences would buy this much tragedy. But I'm like, that is your job to do.
Yeah.
If you want to tell this story, tell the story of all of them. You can't tell a Von Erich story and include one Von Erich brother. It doesn't, that's not the story.
They also didn't honestly go into how much worse Fritz got with age.
Yes.
Because Fritz ended up getting lung cancer and it spread to his brain, which made him even more toxic, volatile, unpredictable. At one point, while talking about the brothers that committed suicide, he had a gun. Kevin tells the story, and was maybe going to shoot Kevin, trying to talk Kevin into committing suicide because his other brother, the other brothers did it. And Kevin's like, no, Dad, there's strength in living. There's strength in continuing. Because he's like, well, at least your brothers were strong enough to end it when they were done and blah, blah. Yeah, there's a really traumatic moment there that, which granted, you don't need every traumatic moment, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They don't include Fritz's downward spiral, which you don't have to. That's fine. But to not include an entire brother.
That's no.
That's borderline unforgivable.
Absolutely.
So, I think we're there.
We are.
All right. So before we go into no, I'll do it after. Ratings. IMDb gives The Iron Claw 7.6 out of 10.
Do they know how to give anything other than 7.5 of 7.7?
No.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes gives The Iron Claw 89%. It's better.
Is it?
Than 76?
Well, we'll talk about it.
Okay. For a grand total of 165. All right. Would you like Variety or Ebert.com?
Let's go with Variety first.
The Iron Claw has a more convincing period atmosphere than The Holdovers. It showcases the media theatrics of wrestling with an eerie, unironic innocence, and the entire cast is superb.
They compared this to The Holdovers?
As far as being like a period piece.
Oh, okay.
Of the era. Because The Holdovers is kind of set in the same time frame.
That's just a weird...
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're just saying, because I actually still want to see The Holdovers.
Holdovers is good. I enjoyed it.
We'll put it in the hat.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because that's with Paul Giamatti, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I want to see that. Put that in the hat. Where's my pen? But no, they were very praise heavy with this movie. And you know what? The entire cast is superb. I can't argue that.
You're right.
Even if David is the weakest.
Not the entire cast, but yes.
He's fine.
Sure.
Ebert.com.
Ugh.
Longtime wrestling fans will probably love revisiting the excesses of this era. But casual viewers may be inclined to tap out. Ebert.com was not a huge fan.
Okay.
2.5 stars. Still better than
Die Hard.
Still better than Die Hard.
Oh.
They didn't care for it. They didn't hate it, but they were like, it's meh.
Okay.
And they gave it 2.5. I guess that's middle of the road.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's slightly above middle. They're a 4-star scale.
Yeah, that's right. They are 4.
2.5 out of 4.
Okay.
Still better than Die Hard. So before we get into awards, written and directed by Sean Durkin. Where do we lower the flag or does it stay standing?
I think it stays standing.
Really?
Yes. Do you want to do your final thoughts?
Well, no, we got to do awards and stuff. I'm just talking about the writer, director,
The Curse.
The Curse.
I think it still stands.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get there. Any awards for?
I have 2 awards.
Okay.
The Halle Berry Award for Worst Line.
Don't say it.
No, it's not that.
Oh, okay.
It's anything that this Ric Flair is saying.
Yeah.
He could take this actor could take an interesting thing that Ric Flair says and just totally destroy it.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
You're not wrong. You know what? Yeah, that's.
And then I have the Brie Larson Award for Bad Acting.
Don't. Wait. Unless.
It's Harris Dickinson.
No, it's
as
not.
David.
It's Ric Flair.
I was going to include Ric Flair in that, but I can only have him in so many terrible awards.
Since when?
But I didn't want to put it for Ric Flair because he was not one of the major cast members.
Yeah.
But no, Harris Dickinson, I didn't like his acting in Where the Crawdads Sing. His accent was awful.
Wait, perhaps a Charlie Sheen?
Yes. And in this one, his accent is, I don't know what he's doing.
He's doing it, though.
He's trying to do some Texas accent with maybe cotton balls in his mouth or something. I don't know. He took me out of it more times than not.
Yeah.
So, what are your awards?
Well, this might be controversial. I want to give the Roger Murtaugh Award for being too old for this shit to Kevin Von Erich. By the end of it, when his dad is railing on about whatever, and he's just like, man, I don't give a shit about anything you're saying right now.
Absolutely.
Kevin reached a point in the story where he was just too old for that shit.
Yeah.
And you see his realization of it, which I also like.
I like that a lot too.
My second award,
okay,
which isn't controversial at all. It's fact. The Morpheus Award for Best Dressed goes to Mike Von Erich. When towards the beginning of the movie, when the family goes to church and he's got that sweet blue suit on, it looks great.
I thought you were
in this like paisley blue suit.
I thought you were going to give it to Kevin Von Erich after Carrie won the title. When he comes in the kitchen, he's got that mesh.
Oh, the yellow mesh. No, Mike's church suit is hot fire. You're picturing it.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah. You're right. You are right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, best part?
Zac Efron.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like Zac Efron. I've only seen him in 2 things. This and help me out. The Hugh Jackman musical
The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman.
He's great in that.
He's great in that. And
fantastic.
I never watched High School Musical, never had any desire. Never watched Neighbors, didn't have any desire because it has Seth Rogen. And I can't get past his laugh. No, can't do it. And I didn't even do a very good impression of it.
But we all know what you mean.
We all know.
Yeah, but see, the reason his popularity in his circles have stayed is because he didn't just out of the blue change his laugh like Eddie Murphy did. Eddie Murphy had one of the greatest laughs of all time, and everyone parodied it.
Yeah.
which made him change his laugh, and it's awful.
It is, yeah. But
No, man, just that was part of like the package. Was you got that great laugh?
Yeah. But no, Zac Efron kills it here. He does a fantastic job from everything from the acting to the subtle emotion that comes on his face to the in-ring work. He does a great job in this.
For me, the best part are all the moments where the brothers are being brothers. Maybe sometimes it's the wrestling montage. I think a great example is when they sneak Mike out to the gig at the college. All the shots of the brothers being brothers, and we see their relationship, and we see the love and the closeness. It feels real. It feels so genuine. I love it. Best part. Worst part.
Ric Flair.
No, the worst part of this movie.
Ric Flair.
No, Tevis, you don't. It can be anything. It can be acting. It can be it can be the writing. It can be camera work.
Ric Flair. God, we got Sarah in here snorting it up. Shit. Yeah, no. Every time I've only watched this twice.
Yeah,
but both times it's just like it's jarring. I felt like I took a chair shot to the face. I felt like one of the Hardys hit Brock Lesnar in the face with the chair. It was terrible.
Hot reference.
Yeah. I felt like Maven when Undertaker smacked him with the chair.
Caved his skull in.
I think I have a conclusion. Yes, this Ric Flair was so bad he gave me a concussion.
No, a conclusion.
A conclusion.
I hate that joke, and I hate that it made me laugh. All right.
Yeah. What's the
Ric
worst
Flair?
part? No, you don't understand.
Oh.
It could be anything. It could
Ric
be
Flair.
No, you don't get it. It's anything in this movie.
Oh.
It could be the lighting, the editing.
So it's Ric Flair. It's so bad.
It's bad.
It took years off my life. I was so angry at how bad Ric Flair is. Yeah. And the thing is, you think the heaven part is unnecessary? Not you specifically, just the general you. We think the heaven part is unnecessary, which it is. But you know what? At least it's a well-done scene.
That is true.
Unlike Ric Flair.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
So bad.
No, it could be anything with Ric Flair.
And that's funny because every podcast that I'd listened to about this Ric Flair is the one thing that they're like, oh God.
It's egregiously bad.
Across the board, everybody hates it.
Jarringly, off-puttingly, takes you out of the movie. Bad.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know who Ric Flair is, you're looking at this guy going, the wig looks awful, and he's a bad actor.
Yeah. But you know who Ric Flair is. My mom knows who Ric Flair is.
Well, your mom is era appropriate. Does your daughter know who Ric Flair is?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Is it because he called that guy a dipshit at the pizza restaurant?
I don't know if she knows who Ric Flair is. I'm trying not to expose her to Ric Flair.
You're trying to make sure Ric Flair doesn't expose himself to her.
Yes.
Okay. What is a prop you would like to see brought into
Jerry's boot?
I thought about that. That would be a good one. The basic pick would be one of the title belts.
Yeah.
Because it would look great. But I settled on something else. I want Fritz's book.
Oh.
His office book. The names, the dates, the places. That's what I want. That would be so cool.
That's a good one. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Good job. You win that round.
Now I get to challenge Flair for the title. Oh, Jesus. All right, final thoughts. Okay, The Iron Claw. I have watched it twice now. It is a well-made movie. It's not perfect. It has its issues. It's bloated in a few places. Leaving out Chris makes me feel weird. but I've been really struggling with the idea of, is this movie worth the ticket price? Because a high quality movie does not necessarily entail a yes or no. Because a movie is more than that. I hate Avatar. James Cameron sucks. I haven't talked about James Cameron in a hot minute. Avatar is visually stunning. Unfortunately, a movie is more than visually stunning. It's not a photograph. It's not a painting. It's not entertaining, is Avatar's problem. That, and it's like 4.5 hours long and it's just horrible. It's horrible. So it's not worth the ticket price. I enjoy the Iron Claw, but I don't know if I enjoy the Iron Claw for the movie's sake or because I'm a wrestling fan.
Okay.
And if you like wrestling, you will like this movie. But if you have no connection to the Von Erichs or wrestling or any of that, Texas, I don't know. I really don't know if this is going to do anything for you. So to the greater audience as a whole, is this movie worth the ticket price? I think I'm inclined to say no.
Oh, damn.
And not because it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. I enjoyed this movie. It'll be a while, but will I ever watch it again? Maybe. I could see myself watching it again. But is it worth the people's time and money to just say, I don't care who you are, watch Jurassic Park, watch Jaws, watch Silence of the Lambs, watch the Ninja Turtles. You're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy this movie. You're going to have a good time. I'm not sure I can honestly say that about the Iron Claw.
Okay.
So, erring on the side of saving people time and money, wow, I think I have to say it's not.
I'm shocked.
I am too. I've been fighting this for days. But there's something about putting my foot down and saying, yes, it's worth the ticket price, feels weird to me. Because you know what? Anna enjoyed it enough. Like, it was good, I guess. But she wasn't like, oh my goodness, this movie. She didn't talk about it. She was just like, oh yeah, no. It was just, yep, that was a thing we watched.
Okay.
To your average goer, I think this is where I'm settled on. If you save your time and money, if you skip Iron Claw, you don't miss out on anything. What do you miss by skipping Iron Claw? You don't miss anything. You miss something if you skip Tombstone.
Okay. I see where you're going there. Yeah.
You don't lose out if you skip Iron Claw. So I think the answer is no, it's not.
Okay. I'm shocked.
I'm shocked.
I am shooken to my core.
I try very hard to give the answer that I think is right for the people.
Okay. Iron Claw. This movie has a cast that do a great job, with the exception of one.
Ric Flair.
I'm talking about the main cast.
Oh, okay.
The brothers.
Moira Tierney.
I love their interactions together.
Oh, yeah.
I love how they all kind of come together and protect Mike. I love the family story that this movie is trying to tell. It's not just stuck in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack is fairly good, with the exception
Of Ric Flair.
of Ric Flair, of Rush.
Shut up. Rush is good.
But this movie tries so hard to make us feel something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make a weird reference here.
Shocker.
I feel like Alex Murphy
Who?
from RoboCop.
Okay.
He goes in to the plant to get the bad guys, Clarence Bodiger,
Yeah.
and they ambush him and take his guns, and then they shoot him. They do. So the one shot doesn't kill him. The second shot doesn't kill him. Even the third shot does not kill him. This movie does so many things that just take me out of the movie. The ghost David on the stairs. Oh, there's the first shot. God. The afterlife thing. Oh, there's another shot. The Ric Flair thing. There's another shot. My hand's gone, And then, I'm sorry, the last shot is leaving Chris out of this movie. And normally I wouldn't put a big deal on that being a biopic because it is just a film, but it's a film about the Von Erichs. You have to include all of the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
You can't pick and choose which ones you want to include. That's the headshot for me. This movie tries so hard to make us feel things, but I didn't. When they say David passed away, I was like, oh, okay, well, there's one.
That was a little lackluster anyway.
When Mike goes out, there's a little bit of them rushing in the field to him. There was a little bit of feeling that I had. But with Carrie, it seemed like he was doing fine. And then he picks up the phone and he's talking to Kevin. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. And I know he had a little thing with his dad, but who hasn't had a little thing like that with their dad?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't do a very good job of showing Carrie's decline, I think. So when he picks up the phone and he calls Kevin and he's like, oh, I just can't do this anymore. And then Kevin finds him by the tree. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that was kind of abrupt. I didn't feel about the brothers the way I think I should have. And honestly, I was kind of bored more than I was intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is as boring as the Iron Claw finishing move.
which, when we talked about it, I argued when done correctly.
One time.
When done correctly, it can be really cool. But virtually no one does it the right way.
Yeah. There's no variety in that finisher.
It's not the RKO.
It's not the RKO.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Or, even the stunner. You can put some variety in the stunner. So, no. This movie's not worth the ticket price. I'm sorry. I was bored. I didn't really care about, and they did a great job. It wasn't the actor's fault. I feel like it was the writing.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it was captivating enough. Their characters. I don't know. The first time I watched it, I was even like, oh, I don't know if I like this.
You went, ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah. And then we pulled it out of the hat and I watched it again. And I'm like, I know I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's too many bullet shots.
But they'll remake you.
I know. Stronger, faster, better. Well, not faster. Never mind. RoboCop's
you're not the $6 million man. Relax, Steve Austin.
So yeah, no. It pained me to say it, but I really wanted to like this movie.
Yeah.
So no, not worth the ticket price.
I'm shocked. I'm shook.
I was certain you were going to like it.
I don't dislike it, but I can't, in good conscience, put my stamp on it. I can't do it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So there you go.
What do you do?
The Iron Claw, unanimously not worth the ticket price. Whew.
Wow.
Where's the hat?
Over there.
Oh, God, it's so far away. I got it.
Is it my turn? I think it's my turn.
I think it is. I pulled this.
You pulled that. Okay. Damn hat.
Careful, it's got all that secondhand semen smell from the Comic-Con you wore it to.
Okay. I got one.
Or whatever it was. Is that a good laugh or a bad laugh? Die Hard 2!
No.
Oh, okay.
This is a comedy.
Okay.
This has Mike Myers.
The Love Guru.
Oh my God, yes. No, let me rephrase it. This is a good comedy.
Austin Powers.
I think.
So I married an axe murderer.
Has Dana Carvey. It has, I think, the same person who did the wigs in Iron Claw, who did the wigs for this movie.
Oh no, the Wayne's World wigs are great.
It's Wayne's World. Party time.
Oh. Swing, swing, swing. Oh my God, I'm shaking. I'm so excited. Oh my God.
I'm so nervous.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I don't know if this movie's going to hold up.
Why is it if you kill a man in the heat of battle, it's called heroic? But when you kill a man in the heat of passion, it's called murder.
I can't do this anymore. I have a headache.
I'll do it I'll do the entire movie by myself.
Here, take these. Oh, Nuprin. Little yellow. Different.
Contractor, no. I will not bow to any sponsor. Yeah!
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for tuning in. I'm Jake. That's Tevis. We're Ticket Price. That was Iron Claw. Not worth the ticket price. In the comments below, let us know what you think. There are 2 links below the episode descriptions. One is to our merch store. Ticket Price t-shirts, hats, all kinds of fun stuff. You need to wear your hat, sir. We got bingo cards. Let us know in the comments if you got bingo. Play along. Have fun with us. Patreon. We're on there. $3 a month. What am I forgetting? Thank you.
Nothing.
Thank you. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that follow button, hit the like button, make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our content. And hope you enjoyed episode 90 of the Iron Claw. Tune in next week as it's time for Wayne's World. Wayne's World. It's party time. Excellent.
I'm worried about this one.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay.
Well, in the meantime, as always, the most important part, everyone, please be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and good night. This man blows goats. I have proof.